Hi everybody, this is SAAD for the SAAD Truth. I'm wearing headphones today because there's a bit of construction noise outside and I thought it might be a bit distracting. So I wanted to make a few observations regarding the latest round of terror attacks that have hit the United States. The first one relates to a gentleman by the name of Richard Fowler. I didn't know who he was until I saw him on a few occasions on TV recently, and I mean, he exemplifies every single social justice warrior talking point that is imaginable. But yesterday he outdid himself because during a conversation on one of the networks, he basically stated that when the mayor said intentional act, I think those are the words that he used to describe the terror attack, he understood why. Because to state terrorism is problematic, since using word association, people might associate the word terrorism with Muslims, and therefore we should avoid using the word terrorism. Of course, there are two issues here. Number one, imagine how extraordinary it is that we should now literally police our language. We shouldn't call a terrorist act because it might be associated with certain perpetrators. But more interestingly, does Mr. Fowler think as to why people might have that particular word association so readily available in their brains? Word association, for those of you who may not know, is a technique that was developed originally in the era of psychoanalysis with gentlemen like Freud and Jung, when you're trying to get say, for example, to a latent motive, something that either the patient doesn't wish to admit to, or somehow is within his unconscious mind, then you offer him a particular word and you ask him or her to offer the fastest word that comes to mind. So, for example, if you're trying to study the dynamics between the patient and his mother, then if you say, mother, and he says Hitler, then you know that we've got some work to do when it comes to the mother-child dynamics as relating to this patient. Subsequently, of course, marketers took these projective techniques and used them in marketing, where you're trying to understand the latent motives of consumers in terms of why they do the things that they do. But going back to Mr. Fowler, is it not telling that Mr. Fowler is proclaiming that when you mention the word terrorism, the word association, or the word that is associated with terrorism, is one that he would prefer that people not have cued in their brains? Why is it that that particular word is cued? It's a mystery. It must be because everybody in the West is a racist bigot. Secondly, there are many tweets that I saw that were simply breathtaking, but I'll just mention one. I went on Twitter today and on Facebook to air out some more thoughts, and then someone tweeted something to the effect, I can't remember the exact words, but this is basically an American guy attacking other American folks. So the conclusion from the bombings that happened in New York City is that really it's homegrown terrorism that has nothing to do with any particular quote foreign ideology or religion. It's just Americans attacking other Americans. Now you wonder if somebody who espouses such a thought is genuinely naturally lobotomized or is just diabolically duplicitous. And similar tweets can be found throughout Twitter. Again, if we don't get our act together, if we don't start thinking clearly and with reason regarding these matters, things are only going to continue to get worse. Have a great week, everybody. Take care. Ciao.